Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's FalconPally coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And today it's a bonus cast for your quarantine times for the COVID-19 crisis. It's going to be FalconPally, Fatty Esquire, Somicron versus Ultra Mega, Sampro, and Jeek here on Canyon of Tribulation. Top side, we have Team North. It's going to be the Red Zerg player, Falcon Paladin. Next door, we have the light blue, I figured, aquamarine Zerg player, Somicron, and their teammate, the blue Protoss player, Fatty Esquire. In the bottom left-hand corner, it is the orange Terran player, Jeek. Got ourselves a yellow Zerg player, Sampro, and then their teammate, a purple Protoss player named Ultra Mega. Okay, look, we played this out on twitch.tv/FalconPaladin, twitch.tv/Somicron, and twitch.tv/FattyTV last week. Go check us out. Go follow us on Twitch. We play stupidly good 3v3s. I don't even know what to tell you about this game. As soon as it was over, I said, I'm casting this. There's no question about it. A 12 pool opens from Somicron with some gas. I'm expanding to a safe location here in Canyon of Tribulation. It's a weird map because you have this back door that leads to a ton of available bases for you guys. You do have to worry about these rocks getting destroyed, but there's another set of rocks that has to go down first. So it takes a while for Lings to get through this. You're pretty much safe to expand back here as much as you want. It does lead to some crazy macro games, but the main attack path is basically this. You see this little main attack path right here? This is where a lot of stuff happens. You have other expansions out here in the open that are more easily accessible by the other team. And then, like I said, the safe expansions back behind, which Sampro is taking, but which Jeek is not. Jeek is opening up double barracks. And Ultra Mega is opening up just, he's one base in it at this stage. It looks like he might try to expand. Oh, he's got two gateways and a cyber core, and now he's tossing down an expansion with the 400 minerals that he has. Nice. Okay, I'm taking a quick third base here at 2 minutes. That is how early my third is right now because I'm feeling pretty good about what we're dealing with. However, it has been scouted that there's a double racks opening from Terran, so he's probably going to be pretty aggressive, which is bad. Ultra Mega scouting around, Sampro scouting around, trying to make sure nothing weird is happening back here. And there's not. There's no proxies or anything like that. These overlords are hanging out, Sampro and Somicron, getting to know each other just a little bit. I'm just trying to drone up as hard as I can, even pulling workers off gas at this stage, trying to drone up as fast as Zergly possible. Meanwhile, Somicron does have Lings. He's trying to see if there are any bases to kill up here, but there are not. Because only idiots take bases out here when there are bases available back here. Like Falcon is. I don't know, man. I really got to stop doing this. I just like creep spread so much. I like having the creep spread across this path. It really helps to have early warning for when your opponents are trying to murder you in the face. But yeah, expansion done for Jeek, but he is popping up a ton of Marines, which is pretty darn scary for us. He's just now getting an orbital, so his timings are a little bit off, as he's at 33 supply, but it's cool. We'll roll with it. Ultra Mega already has a robotics facility out. Same story here from Fatty. He's got an Immortal in production right now. Immortal's going to be really good against fellow Protoss players. And not bad against Terran unless they make all Marines, which Jeek is kind of doing right now. So hit that like button if you're excited for what this is going to bring, because I promise you, this is an insane game. I have never been more, I don't know, more spent at the end of a match than this one. It was crazy. So we'll see how it translates to a cast, because sometimes if you're playing, it feels crazier than it is. But it's pretty quiet in the early stages, obviously. I feel pretty good about taking my third base, which I am saturating, still making drones. I'm getting spores at about 4 minutes, because we don't know what the other players are up to at all, and it could totally be oracles, even though it's not, and it could be banshees, even though it's not. Because by golly, Jeek has no interest in making anything but barracks, which is really a big problem for us. Sampro scouting, but that doesn't help us at all because he's an enemy Zerg player. Sampro 2 base in it, getting all his gas up. Let's take a look at worker count real quick. It's 42 for me, 35 for Fatty, 25 for Somicron, 28, 35, and 29 for the other team. So I'm doing all right economically here. I'm feeling pretty good about it. My army is nothing. I don't think I even made early Zerglings in this game at all. I'm going for a lair. I'm getting double evolution chamber. I do have a Baneling nest just in case something crazy happens, and I need to make some Banelings, which is totally fair. Somebody's pinging. Ah, yes. So Somicron has these lings out here, but again, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Widowmine out of Jeek. Very nice. Again, this is your main attack path. If there's an early attack, it's coming this way. So having a Widowmine there is going to be really nice. Fatty trying to expand it down this way. My creep is encroaching in the area just a bit, but he should be able to throw down a Nexus no problem. These maps are designed in such a way as to allow expansions to happen without creep totally screwing it up. Ultra Mega has an observer right here, scouting this whole thing. Loving that very much. But yeah, first 5 minutes, not much happens. I kind of remember this as being like a ridiculously... Oh, here we go. This is where it starts. So we got Lings, we got Banelings, we got Marines, we got Widow Mines here too. Sentry, couple of Mortals, Stalkers out of Fatty. Centrifugal Hooks is on the way from me as well. I'm at 65 supply, which is tied with Fatty for the biggest on our team. Jeek's at 73 supply right now. He has a lot of Marines and Marauders. I don't have any Banelings. I am caught entirely by surprise by this. So my Lings do not jump on those Banelings. So, okay, well, we jumped on the Banelings. And that, all right, that was real bad. So Zerglings are right in my third base, wrecking all of my stuff. The Marines are taking down the Immortals pretty effectively, I gotta say. But the Stalker's helping with that. Warp Prism shenanigans there from Fatty, making it happen too. Fatty's attempt at a third base is getting roundly surrounded by Zerglings after all of my drones die. And the Lings have to get the heck on out of there. So just kind of hanging out is Jeek. He's just pumping units, man. He's got tanks that are stuck. Which, man, if he had tanks in these early attacks, I think it'd be a little bit better. So my Zerglings are trying to get surrounds on this bio. Trying to deal with the Zerglings a little bit. Trying to pull back. We're all in voice chat, so we can communicate to a certain extent. And we're trying to make callbacks to retreating positions. Banelings on the way. I can tell you that Banelings, when they're morphing in, feel like they're taking forever. When really it's just a matter of seconds there, because they're just about done. Banelings here from Sampro. He's got speed. I've got speed. This is so intense right now. Meanwhile, Somicron's just got a third base. I'm not sure where he is, to be honest. He's got Roaches. There we go. Roaches joining the party. Lings and Banelings just trying to crash on whatever I can there. The force fields are not very good, and I'm crashing through. Immortals are taking hits. Stalkers are taking hits. Oh, I forgot to change... I'm going to change this to red versus blue just because it was confusing for me figuring out whose units were whose. But Fatty's Immortals and the Roaches here from Somicron are kicking butt and taking names. They're pushing up the front here right now. Fatty's at 80 supply. Somicron's at 80 supply. That's more than anybody on Team Blue has at the moment. But the problem is we keep pushing into areas where they don't have bases. I really think it would have been better for us to maybe take this backwards path. We would have had... Oh, that is... Hindsight is 2020, man. Hindsight is 2020. The Roaches try to smash their way up this ramp, but there's a tank just happily shelling it. Already has 5 kills here. Zealots for Fatty trying to get up as well. I'm making some Banelings, but they probably should have waited for them. And we're just not getting up this ramp at all. The back door was a much better option. Like, oh my gosh, much better option. Ultra Mega's got 4 bases? No, that's the third. 3 bases here. So my Banelings show up way late. Smash on some of those Stalkers. Ultra Mega has an Immortal with exactly 3 HP. And now we're on the back foot. Trying to make more stuff. Fatty not spending his money super well. 2,300, 1,000 here. Somicron and Falcon at least under 1,000 each there. I'm making 26 Zerglings. I have 1-1, which I'm very happy about. And going to do pretty well against these Stalkers and this Immortal. Even against this small group of bio, 1-1 Zerglings in decent numbers are going to do all right. Once again, kind of fighting on our own. They're doing a much better job fighting together. We got Protoss, Terran, and Zerg here all together from Team Blue. I'm rolling Lings in on their own, just like committing suicide. Trying to jump on top of that tank, I guess. It is kind of slowing the attack a little bit. Sampro gets a full run by right up that area, getting into Fatty's mineral line. And Banelings against some of Somicron's Roaches. My Lings are jumping in, trying to help deal with this attack up here. Meanwhile, the front door is under direct attack here. Zealots hacking on the Cybernetics core. Charge lots of Fatty's own, but the Cybernetics core goes down. The Warp Gate goes down. Hydra's here from Somicron fighting in the mix. My Lings are trying to buffer for the Hydras a little bit and shove this out the front door, but my third base is going to die because, again, I put it in a stupid place, and that hatchery is totally going to go down. So he's got some lurkers here, Somicron does. I have lings and I have banelings. I'm trying to be like Serral. I'm trying to do this thing mainly with lings and banelings, and it would be queens as well, but I just don't have any queens here. Banelings rolling down the ramp, getting some serious hits. They do take down most of the bio here and then try to jump on the tank, but friendly fire keeps that alive for a little bit. But tank down, and we do manage to shove this off the front door. But guess who's in Fatty's third base? A bunch of Zerglings. In the mix there too. Banelings coming in from Sampro. This is nuts. Sampro's got Mutalisks out now. I'm still on a Ling Bane technology. Lurker's doing pretty well, but not against Mutalisks, as it turns out. That Lurker trying to get out. Immortal at the top of the ramp. Link trying to jump down maybe on top of those Stalkers, but the Zealots make me worry a little bit, so I'm pulling back. The Hydras are going to do all right versus Mutas in smaller numbers. Ling's rolling down. There you go. On top of the Marauders, on top of the Stalkers, going to take those guys out. Muta's going after Fatty's mineral line in the process, and I do manage to help shove the attack off the front door again with my Zerglings. But guess who's got more stuff coming? That's right, it's Jeek, who has been a non-stop macro machine today. But he is going to lose his bio there to my Zerglings, who do have +2 attack and +1 armor, as well as speed. And even with Medivacs healing up right now, these Lings are just DPS machines, and they do clear it out. More Lings coming in against Marines and against Marauders. Tanks in the mix, not going to do very well sieging up here when there are Zerglings rolling in. And this push is doing pretty well. Meanwhile, this Observer has just been scouting forever and a day. Mutas from Sampro running out here again. I'm trying to see, are there any bases to kill? And by golly, there's a base finally accessible for me to take care of. And I do go after a bunch of these SCVs, forcing them to flee, a lot of them to die. Adaptive Talons on the way here from Somicron, actually. And then the Mutas from Sampro deciding to come back home to help deal with these Lings who are doing way too much work for just a handful of Zerglings. The power of a handful of Zerglings sometimes cannot be overstated. Can be often understated, though. Guess who's making Colossus in response to my mass Zergling play? Yeah, Ultra Mega definitely is. Lings and Hydras trying to knock down the rocks, gain additional attack paths across the map. But this Muta play from Sampro is nuts. The Hydras can kind of try to keep pace with them engage, but anyway, I'm making Ultras. I'm getting Chitinous Plating. That's been my goal the whole time, is to get Ultralisks out with Chitinous Plating against a lot of this bio. Against, obviously, the Zealots, the Banelings, too. Against the Mutas and the Colossus, not very good. So this is my Zerglings, but no! There's Colossus here! The Storm defense here from Fatty is pretty good. Is he hitting these Mutas? He might be missing a little bit. Yeah, my Zerglings all die. This Colossus is happily up to 9 kills right now. Contaminate on the Nexus just to show off a little bit. Here from Sampro, and all these front bases are out. Holding a front base has proven to be very hard. This Ultralisk is like, oh, hold on, never mind. We're going to pull up into the safety of the high ground a little bit. A drop here from Jeek. Hydras are going to have to deal with this, which is really problematic for them. Well, for us in particular. And the Hydra Den gets sniped off. I don't think I even knew about that. Muta's just flying around trying to do what they can. I do have a couple spores up here and there, but not many. And just the mass Hydra with some Zergling support there. Somicron's Ling's able to make that thing happen. He does dislodge that drop quite nicely. Are there enough cannons to handle these Mutalisks? Definitely not. Stalkers are going to be needed. I do have a single spore at each of my bases, but I don't think that's enough either. But free hits are good free hits. Not going to complain too much about that. And the Protoss marching up the ramp, and Ultra Vega's at 93 supply. Sampro's at 141 right now. This Ultralisk comes in and says, I don't care what there is. Let's chomp up these Stalkers. Getting several kills. Eventually getting burned down, but the Zerglings getting a surround on these units, and a couple Colossus managed to get out. But now we're pushing down the ramp. This game is absolutely intense. Absolutely non-stop. They just keep coming. Sampro, 123 supply. Somicron at 145. Nobody else at 100 supply right now. Fatty has no probes to speak of. These Mutas are causing major problems for everybody. This base isn't working for him either. And a big attack from Somicron, our hero of the moment, as my Ultralisk leads the charge. My one Ultra with really good upgrades, mind you. He does have Chitinous Plating and Anabolic Synthesis. We're going to wipe out these front bases. Nobody's allowed to have front bases today at all, in case you were wondering. This is not a planetary yet, nor shall it ever be. As Hydras, Lings, Banelings, and Ultras finish it off, this Ultra chomping up SCVs as well as it can. is up to 14 total kills. The Mutos try to engage with the Stalker Hydra army. That's a terrible idea. And they get wiped out. I'm telling you, this game was exhausting to play. It is kind of exhausting to cast, but we're getting there. This Ultralisk is like, no, I don't want to. Hey, Hydras, wait. I was trying to pull the Ultralisk back, but the Hydra's pushed it into its death against those Stalkers. This Colossus control has been nuts out of Ultra Mega today. 23 kills on that Colossus. 29. 30 kills on that Colossus. Sampro's trying to expand at one of these gold bases, which we haven't even tried to take our own here. But again, the Hydra Stalker combination of Somicron and Fatty looking pretty good. It's giving me some breathing room and time to make a couple more Ultralisks. They are almost fully upgraded. They're working on +3 Ground Carapace, and that means that Sampro's attempt at expanding here is not going to happen. So that's completely dead. I want to check to make sure there's nobody over there, and there's not. Colossus pulling back. Ultra Mega recognizing a situation where he's not very happy. The Mutos from Sampro hanging out. Sampro's at 113 supply. Again, Sampro and Somicron really making it happen here, mostly because of all the bases that Somicron has running right now up along. He's taking all of those safe bases, and it's really helping us out. These Mutas decide to hang out and lose a couple of their number in the process. The Hydras are really good from Somicron. What are the upgrades on those? +3, +3. All right, that'll do, pig. This Ultralisk. Hey, Hydralisk, stop cramping our style. We want to help, but you're right in the way, and our pathing is really bad for some reason. Yeah, if there's one change I would make to Ultras, it would make it so they can't get stuck behind things that are smaller than them, like Hydralisks. Fatty's got some Archons out. This Ultra wants a chase up here, but with all the Immortal and the Stalkers, that means the Ultra dies. So that was not a great choice on my front. A bit of a drone transfer. Archons happily murdering all of those guys. This Ultralisk has been having a pretty good time up here in Jeek space. Trying to take down reactors, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure why. All of these drones from Sampro. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. You got it, Abe. I thought I had those turned off. Why am I not on busy? I absorb all the Baneling hits with that Ultralisk, and then the Mutas try to come in and take me down, but I do manage to run a little bit until the Marauders finish me off. Archons, Hydras, Zerglings from Somicron in the mix, really murdering all of the stuff here. Looking really fantastic. Jeek is having a bad time, losing a lot of his production. But the Colossus are arriving versus these Hydras, and it's going to do a pretty good job here. Already has 40 kills. Already has 41 kills, and they do chase this thing away. I'm just trying to establish a third base and a fourth base. This Observer's been here the entire game. I can't even believe that. Defensive Storms from Fatty trying to loosen up and weaken up this Protoss army from Ultra Mega, but he's at 103 supply right now. I'm at 67 supply. Fatty's at 14. He's basically not been able to replace his economy very well today at all. He's at how many workers? 8. 8 workers right now. It's not great. Ultra Mega has basically taken this whole backside of the map to himself, just like Somicron has done over here. So that's why it's Somicron and it's Ultra Mega who have all of the supply at the moment. Lings try to see, is there a base here? Ah, gold base though. Forcing a cancel with my fully upgraded Adrenal Lings is so brutal for him. I might break 100 supply. Although those Lings all died. They paid dearly for canceling that hatchery. Corruptor's out now from Sampro. I'm trying to figure out what those are for exactly. I don't think there's anything on Team Red that... Oh my gosh. All of the drones from Sampro. Sampro's worker count is abysmal. He's at 25 drones. Of course, Fatty's at 11 and not making any more, which is bad. But Somicron really kind of carrying us here today. Knows when to run away, really playing well. Ultra Mega has DTs, a bunch of Immortals, Stalkers, and Colossus. Nobody's been maxed out today because it's so stupid hard to get maxed out when you're constantly under attack and constantly losing hatcheries. DTs show up. Rest in peace, all of the things. Tempting a gold base is Fatty, but That was problematic for a second. Archon for Fatty gets burned down instantly. DT's murdering all of my drones. Just massacring all of them. And I'm like, do I have an I don't know. Ultralisks engage, but the Immortals are so good! Oh, these Immortals come in trying to engage at the same time. Maybe as the Hydras and the Banelings, they decide to retreat back up the ramp. I think if they'd helped in this engagement, it would have gone better for Team Red here. Corruptor's getting rid of Overseers, which is actually not a bad idea. And then I just show up with a bunch of Lings and Ultras and try to get a surround on these Immortals and finish them all off. The Ultras do get focused down. One of them dies, but the other one manages to survive. And we barely hold off the attack again after losing yet another base. I lose yet more drones. At this stage, I have lost 54 drones. 73 probes have died for Fatty. No drones have died at all for Somicron. It really helps to expand to these little safe areas at the back side. As we're seeing here with Ultra Mega, although Ling Ultra not bad against this little Immortal Stalker thing you have going right now. DT shows up to try to help deal with this Immortal and going to do pretty well for itself. Do we have detection coming? I don't know. The DTs are wreaking havoc everywhere, though. This Ultralisk is going to die with about 10 kills, which, I don't know, probably paid for himself there to some extent. He's actually going after more of these probes. So 15 kills. Not bad, Mr. Ultralisk. Not bad at all. I'm really just trying to drone back up at the moment. 33 supply. I mean, Fatty has just been dying in this game. Kind of like Sampro has. Like, Sampro, he's got this one mining base, and that's it. He has managed to take this gold. Finally, good for him. Morlings cruising out from Somicron. 3-3 getting started now from Jeek. It's a full Zergling surround on a very small bio ball, and it looks like Sampro might lose another base here as Somicron comes in and decides to take it down. He just can't get a fourth, man. Honestly, neither can I. This is my third, and trying to take a fourth has just been an absolute nightmare. Zerglings and some Banelings show up for the first time in a while, but they're not really accomplishing a whole lot. Hydralisk versus Corruptors. It's 22 minutes into this game. There are still bases to be had that people haven't even bothered taking. Jeek has a planetary with 41 SCVs on it. He's mined out of everything else right now. He hasn't been able to get a fourth at all. Somicron thinks about taking this down, but he realizes I don't have any Banelings, and that is a planetary. And by that I mean he decides to go for it? I didn't think he tried to go for this. Alright, that might have been a terrible life decision. Especially as Archons show up and just melt all of those Zerglings. Meanwhile, Broodlords are out for Sampro because why not at this stage of the game? Do we have anything to do with Broodlords? Not really is the answer to the question. Ultralisk, not sure what it's doing with its life. Decides to go after these Colossus because it can. Look at how many... That's 4 swipes to get through 50 of the health on a Colossus. That's pretty insane. He can't believe that survived either. I really can't believe that worked. This Ultra running for its life. Tries to take some hits off that Colossus before he gets melted into the ground. I have lost 12 Ultralisks today, friends. It is not a good day to be an Ultralisk for me. 4th base, getting taken. This Observer in, again, full view the whole stupid time. A bit of long-distance mining here from Jeek. Does he have the resources to expand? He does. He can build a command center there if he wants to. Bit of a drop here at Fatty's attempt at reestablishing his economy. Lings from Somicron do manage to help him quite a bit. And in fact, save that Nexus. Taking these gold bases, it turns out, is hard to do. Broodlords are actually heading up to that gold base for Team Red. Team Blue is expanding, and it looks like, finally, Sampro is going to be able to get a 4th base, as he's taking another base here, too. So if you look at the resources available for everybody, everybody's under 300 minerals right now. That's how scrappy this game is. Nobody's sitting on 2,000 minerals. Nobody's just failing to spend their money. It's just been non-stop attacks, non-stop back and forth. Somicron has some Corruptors to deal with the Broodlords, because again, he's managed to take this base too. So he has all of the bases, compared to me, who barely just got his 4th base back up, and guess what? The army's on the front door. Again, from Ultra Mega. 134 supply for him, 132 for Somicron. It turns out, if you can get a 5-base economy up, you're going to do better than people who are stuck on 3 and 4 bases. It's just simple math. Is what it is. Corruptor's trying to pick off those Broodlords, but the Archons and the Stalkers are Really bad news. That is a lot of banelings from Somicron. They handled an attempted attack up to this gold base quite nicely. Corruptors kind of getting melted a little bit by those Archons and by the enemy Corruptors too. I'm making banelings. I've got an Ultralisk here, making more banelings. +1 flyer attack coming in from Somicron. The center stage is here. Jeek has not really been able to do much recently, but he is, again, he's expanding. He's got this base now. So he at least has 2 bases of income that he's working with at the moment. The Broodlords are super annoying. Firing down on Fatty's attempt at, again, rebuilding his entire economy. The Corruptors are trying to angle in there, but it's just so hard to do. Nice blink up on those Stalkers, finishing those Corruptors off. Nice play by Ultra Mega. Super great there. But the Broodlords all get picked off at the same time, except for this one. I try to come in with my Banelings and Ultras, but I crash all over the Archons. Meanwhile, Somicron actually has Banelings. He's trying to not explode on the Archons, but it's so hard when they're right in the front like that. Colossus does get ripped down by the Corruptors a second before they all evaporate. Oh my gosh. Slings all over the Stalkers, chewing them up. This Archon with 26 kills might be able to hold, although he is getting surrounded by a lot of fully upgraded Lings, and that's not a good thing at all. Tank firing. I've got Lings running out of here for some reason. I don't... Where did you come from, guys? Making more Banelings. Don't worry about it. It's all good. This base has been happily mining for about 3 minutes, which is great. Then Zealots are down here attacking it, and my Banelings aren't coming up in time, and there's a small group of Bio here causing me major problems. Caustic Spray all over this hatchery. The Banelings are trying to get rid of these Zealots, so they stop killing all of my drones. Maybe. I don't know. These 2 Zealots are almost dead. Zerglings do finish them off quite easily there, but I lost my hatch there due to the Caustic Spray, which is so harmful. Only people making anything right now. Good heavens. Is Somicron and Sampro and Cheeks making a Marine right now. So finally the Broodlords die. Somicron gets the upper hand. I have 175 minerals in the bank right now. Zealots from Ultra Mega just hacking up all of my Zerglings. Coming up against these Stalkers too, trying to back themselves into a corner. Nice micro from Fatty. And the Zealots come up to my base to try to see what they can do, going after the macro hatch that I tossed up here. I'm very proud of this macro hatch. I mean, it's disgusting. Team Blue's at 61, 51, and 69 total supply at 27 minutes. I'm at 35, Fatty's at 48, and Somicron's at 129. That's how stupidly close this game is right now. A bunch of DTs got wiped out by Somicron Zerglings. Gonna come up here and wipe out Sampro's base again, I think. Oh, nice Baneling hits. No. The Lings head out. Oh, Widowmine's problematic. Oh, trying to split him up a little bit at least. Take those Widowmines down. Pretty good control from Somicron, I gotta say. Ugh, big time Widowmine hit there, though. Might have jinxed it just a little bit. Hey, the portrait's loaded in finally. Oh, never mind. Not for this guy. Samwise DDA happening. Hey, Somicron getting revenge on Sampro for caustic spraying down my hatchery. Gets one of his hatcheries. I didn't know that happened. That was hilarious. Great job. But we're getting to the point that there are a few bases remaining, and the bases that exist are kind of getting mined out. With maybe the exception of these golds, which are hard to hold by design. Banelings coming up for me. I'm involved in this fight on some level. I have a handful of Banelings anyway. And I try to take down this planetary. I'm not sure how much it actually matters. I guess there's a bunch of gas, though. About 2,000 gas in those refineries, ready to rock. Corruptors, no. Sampro, bad engagement. Just get out of here. There's a Viking for some reason. All these SCVs. Oh, my gosh. They tried just long-distance mine. That's all they wanted. They're all dead. So Jeek's at 20 supply. And Caustic Spray taking down that planetary. I don't even... This game, though. Planetary Fortress explodes in a cloud of dust. Archons chasing away the Corruptors as they do. Bonus Splash versus Biological is just super good. And Ultra Mega holding on here. I mean, look. This is basically mined out. This is mined out. This is mined out. This base is getting mined out. This base is getting mined out. I mean, it's coming down to it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not looking good. Fatty defending these two bases. Somicron happily mining from gold, making a very risky transfer, but it succeeds nevertheless. Fatty does have a base up there. I think he's back up to worker count. He's back up to 45, which is great. I'm at 26. Somicron's at 60. It's 41, 26, and 5 for Team Blue. Couple wings roll in. Oh my gosh. Fatty was okay. Now he's back down to 18 probes. It's a bad day for Fatty. He's going to toss that out. He's trying to fight with his Stalkers against Marines and Marauders and against Archons and stuff. But just everything gets massacred there. I'm desperately... My Lings are like, can I handle 3 Archons? I don't know. Trying to save this base of Fatties. I look like I have a decent number of Zerglings here. And especially if they're going to focus down the Nexus. They're not, mind you. But I do kill one of the Archons. Oh, not the other Archon. I'm just throwing Zerglings into the meat grinder here. And Fatty loses another Nexus today. That was happily mining. Lings from Somicron here to save the day again. Going to take down these Banelings of Sampro that are trying to come up and then finish off the rest of this army. I have Lings popping out too to help with it. And that is enough to get a surround and a complete destruction on that one. Corruptors trying to deal more Corruptor damage to Sampro. Stalkers trying to get out of here from Ultimega. I wipe those out. Oh, getting High Templar would be so good. And I do come in and recognize that Sampro has a base, which he's actually had for some time. So he's trying to fight, but against fully upgraded Zerglings with Adrenal Glands, it's just not going to work. Spine Crawlers and Drones aren't going to make this happen. And in fact, they do not. More Lings coming in from Somicron trying to get up this ramp. High Templar does not have enough energy for Storm. As a result, he gets murdered pretty much instantly. Can't defend himself at all. Hatchery down for Sampro. And Sampro's at 18 supply. So Sampro and Jeek are done. Ultra Mega there, and that's a good game from Jeek! Oh my gosh, Jeek is out. Somicron calls the GG. Fatty calls the GG. Falcon calls the GG. Ultra Mega is gone. He doesn't have a GG for us. All of his production, his income is getting destroyed. And at this point, we can hardly believe it, but Sampro and Jeek are just starved. Sampro sticking around. There you go. There's the GG from Sampro. And that's the good game. Falcon, Fatty, and Somicron win the scrappiest 3v3 I think I may have ever played in my entire life. It was bananas. You don't even hit that like button if you enjoyed that, because holy crap, it was really fun and really stressful to play. Sorry, I just looked at Fatty's probes lost count, and it's 123. He lost 123 probes. I thought I had it bad, losing 68 drones. No, not at all. Look at Somicron. No drones died for him. 0 drones. That's insane. 32-minute game, no drones died. Everybody else, 42 probes lost for Ultra Mega, 62 drones down for Sampro, 119 SCVs for Jeek. Somicron lost the most resources because he's able to make the most resources. Same with Ultra Mega. It was basically Ultra Mega versus Somicron, and the rest of us were kind of in the periphery trying to assist as we could. It was terrible. It was a really terrible experience. Sampro lost all 56 of his Mutalisks. I ended up losing 487 Zerglings and 13 Ultralisks, which is a lot of Zerglings. I mean, Sampro lost 368 himself, sure. The Terran player never really got much going, so didn't lose a whole bunch there, obviously, but... Wow! I mean, 32 minutes down to the wire. The winning team has 64, 39, and 145 supply. That's what we're dealing with in this game. I am getting all these feelings rushing back of just like relief and surprise and how did we do that? But it really came down to the fact that Ultra Mega was dead. He was always a thorn in our side, but eventually he got mined out. I mean, Somicron took all of these bases. All these were his, and they're all gone. He has this gold base. Fatty has this base. I have this base barely, and this one kind of too. Income at the moment, we actually have income and they don't. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Also, they had no armies. I guess that's part of it as well. But, yeah, I mean, that was a 3v3 for the ages. I'm thinking about putting an epic tag on it. I don't know. Does that matter for you guys? I'm not sure that it really matters for mid-rank style games where you're like, it's Falcon playing with his buddies. It's not innovation and it's not Cyril, right? But let me know if you want an epic tag on this because it really was nonstop. It really kind of came down to the wire there. And we mined out a massive map. Not the whole thing. I mean, part of the big deal is Team Blue was never able to establish these bases. Never really able to take them at all. Meanwhile, I actually got some use out of these ones. Thank goodness for that. This one never got anything going either, but incredible. Incredible. All right, well, that is going to be it from me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a bonus quarantine episode of Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.